What's going on, BookTube? So today what I want to talk about is how I am going to be going about having this channel going forward. And the goal of mine is to become a better reader. And the way I will accomplish that is by reading more eclectically, pushing myself, reading a little bit more difficult novels, and really just seeing if I can speed up the process of reading for myself. And the way I think I can do that is by reading a little bit more difficult or well put together stories. I believe that I will be more efficient when reading a lot of the stuff that I normally read, which is some silly stuff, some pulp, some independent horror, some horror in general, and even fantasy. I just find that I tend to get bogged down with the day-to-day life if it's something that's really not engaging or really pulling me in as much as I need it to be. And I find that when I'm reading some of these like Pulitzer winners, which I have quite a few, and I might be able to do like one of those each month until the end of the year. When I'm reading one of those, it really sucks me in more. I think that the writing is just, to be honest, it's probably a little bit better. And when it pulls you in, I find that I don't want to really leave it as much. So I think that that's going to be really cool for me. I think that if I'm able to read 15 pages of a real mentally, like a mental gymnastics type book, one of these bro lit style books, if I'm able to really do that, when I pick up a one of my favorites or something, if I pick up an Aaron Beauregard Playground, I'm gonna be able to hammer like 100 pages in an hour. So that's my goal, is to just be better. I want to be a better reader and continue my growth as a person. And so the best way to do that is to really just push myself. So I'm excited. I've been reading a lot in my free time, doing less of the video games, doing less of the movies. I can't tell you the last TV show I watched. I've been really working hard. I started a new career and just trying to excel at that. And I'm back in like apprentice form, which is pretty crazy to do in your 30s. But as a person in my 30s, I do feel like it's sad that like I'm kind of staring at this bookshelf behind me where I've only read like 20% of it. And there's only so many years remaining in my life, possibly. You never know when your time is. And I really don't want to get bogged down in reviewing books that are sent to me and things that I don't feel like I want to read, but that I'm obligated to read. And so I'm just doing away with that, to be honest with you. I'm going to read whatever the heck I want. And I'm not saying I won't read the books on my shelf that were sent to me for that, but I want to do it when it's like the time to do it. And unfortunately, these timetables just really killed my motivation to read. It really killed me wanting to make videos. It killed me wanting to make content in general, just because I felt like I was obligated to, and it's for free. I don't get paid to do this, as you can tell by the quality of the videos. But so what have I been reading? And really, again, just to reiterate the goal, I just want to promote reading in general and for men, and just set a good example for my kids. And I've succeeded with the one kid really loves to read. Like, we can't keep enough books on her shelf. The other one is more of a free spirit, second born type child, and she doesn't really care to read much. But whatever, it takes all kinds. So I've been reading this cool book by Zachary Tanner. It's put out by Corona Samizdat. It's a novella. I'm probably going to finish it later today. It's called Some Features of Living Matter in the Neighborhood of the Sun. It's pretty neat how they do their books, because it's like the size of my hand, and you just put it in your pocket, and there's no barcodes, nothing like that. It's just the cover, which has a cat, ironically, that is identical to my cat. So that's a nice little photo opportunity I have for Bookstagram later. But this is pretty cool. It takes place in like a near future where, global warming has really gotten out of hand, and there's these big geostorms that hit the earth. We follow a mother and daughter on like a voyage in Louisiana. Right now, I just finished up a part of it where they're talking about like how the daughter is in a throuple. So it is just out there and strange. It's Corona Samizdat, so it's going to have some weird stuff in it. But they had to put on like dune suits where they try to like collect their water, because it's like super hot, obviously, on Earth after global warming. And overall, it's pretty interesting. It's like 90 pages, so when I finish this, it'll probably go up on my Pango bookstore, so that'll be cool if anybody wants to grab that when I'm done with it. That's the other thing. I got to get rid of some books. I got to read them, I got to review them, take some pictures of them, and get rid of them because we got too many, and I'll never be able to buy any more books if I don't get rid of some. So for every 10 books I sell, I can only bring one into the house, and it's probably got to be free because the consumerism side of BookTube can get out of hand really quick, where we're buying all these new books at $30 a pop. And to be honest, with the career change I made, we just don't have that ability. You can't be doing that anymore. So if the library doesn't have it, if the library isn't giving it to me for free in a book sale, $1 for a bag, then your boy's not going to read it. So it's going to make things interesting and fun because I'll have to sell them on Pango and use my Pango books to buy another used copy. So it'll be really cool. Never really going. Unfortunately, I'll probably just never go to like a Barnes and Noble again. Unless it's just the look. But I do like going to local bookstores, which brings me to the next book I picked up. So I picked this up at the Book Rack in Charlotte, and I thought this was cool because it's a Tolstoy and it's relatively short. It's like 3 non-fiction historical viewpoint from him, from the siege of Sebastopol. I can't pronounce Russian stuff. In 1854, which is like a Crimean War, which I thought was kind of cool to read right now. I'm through the introduction. I thought it was cool just, for the times that we're in today, still dealing with the Ukraine war and that battle over that section of the world, and Russia really just doing what they're doing, So that's probably been beaten to pulp. But I thought it'd be a cool thing to kind of just read this because I thought it was ironic that it seems like everywhere that there's wars, there's just always been wars. That's all I'll say about that. But just seems like history repeats itself. If we haven't learned, we'll never learn. Next, I've been reading The Overstory, which is one of the Pulitzer books. That's by Richard Powers. And I'm about 150 pages in, and this is kind of the book that sparked me wanting to be a better reader because I was like working my way through this book and just really taking my time and enjoying it. And then it was brought to my attention that like why I was making reading a chore instead of just enjoying what I was reading. And so that's what kind of sparked this. So I'm super excited to continue reading this. I read it here and there throughout the day. And it's just a beautifully written book about humans and the sagas of these families and how they correlate to maybe the trees on their property or family trees or heirlooms and just their overall lives. And it kind of, not to be corny, but it just kind of reminded me like how I planted the seed of reading in my own children's lives. And my hope is that that'll sprout into a love of books that I have felt and how it's helped me with my mental health and helped me with my life and just how I live. And I hope that seed really does sprout into something that they can take with them. And always remember that their dad like read when they were little and just if hopefully that makes an impact for them. So this has been Working Man Reads. That's my plans, and that's how I'm going to go about it. So I hope you guys don't work too hard. Enjoy your week. Deuce.